Welcome back to the Parrot Podcast. I'm your host, Sandra, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about cleaning. Now, I did a recent YouTube video on how I keep our home clean and what I use when we are cleaning the home and what kind of maintenance I do to try and upkeep a clean space living with pets, especially with a bird, because we know that birds are messy. They poop, they destroy toys, they're curious little dinosaurs, and they're dropping food and all kinds of different things. So it's up to us to make sure that they have a clean and hygienic space, cage, toys, perches, all of that. And we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of that today. And we're going to be joined by a special guest who is a returning guest to the show, and that's Alberta, formerly known as the Cozy Cockatiels. Now they're known as Cozy Beaks crew. And Alberta was sharing what products she uses and how she uses them, her cleaning routine. And so we're going to dive into our cleaning routines a little bit for you guys so that you know the different ways that you can clean your bird's cage and their perches and toys and keep their environment spick and span so that they have that hygiene. So let's jump into it with Alberta. Oh, they're preening at the same time. How cute.
Well, love Mia's colors. She's so beautiful,
I
honestly.
know. Oh,
She's
look at that in the light. You can
gorgeous.
really see them there.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
cute.
that
This is
blue.
adorable that Agnes and Mia are synced right now with their preening.
Yep.
I wanted to start off with just seeing how you're doing. How's your flock? Tell us about the cuteness going on over there, and if you have any updates that you'd like to share.
Right. So we are all fine. I mean, as fine as we can be after losing our Irulan. She was our queen, and we deeply miss her, especially Hummus. He's been quite sad, but he's getting back to it slowly. He has all the other members of the flock to keep him company, and I'm spending extra time with him. So we are like sort of a happy family that are trying to go through hard times.
Yeah. Grief is
And
never easy.
grief is never easy. Everyone is doing it their own way, so it takes time. I understand that it's not the first time I'm going through a grief, so I know it takes time, but it's never easy. It's never like because you're getting so attached to those little feather ones. They're
Yeah.
becoming part of your heart, and when they go, this part of your heart is just like broken. And although you still keep them in your heart, it's like something is always missing. But yeah,
Yeah.
apart from that, we are all fine, all in good health. Agnes, as you can see, is being extra naughty as always, trying to make a nest out of my
She's the
hair.
only conure in the flock, so of course she's going to be the naughtiest.
She's such a menace, honestly, but such a lovely menace. Yeah, as a corner, she's quite boisterous and playful all the time, and likes to be in the middle of everything that's going on. If there is
Yeah.
a quarrel between the cockatiels, she needs to be there. If there is like something going on outside, if like a seagull or a crow is like making sounds, she needs to be at the window to check what's going on, like, the local police. So she's like that. But yeah, Hummus is doing better. He started actually to sing again, to play with
Oh.
toys, which is good because for some time he was really quiet. I've been noticing that he's trying to get close to Aralani, his daughter. So I really hope that he's not going to try to become a pair with her because he's been like following her everywhere. He's never tried anything, but he's been like trying to get close to
I
her,
think he
and
likes having a companion.
he does. It's definitely about him. He doesn't like to be alone. When this one is wants to be with humans, he doesn't need anyone else. But
Hmm.
yeah, Hummus feels better when there are other birds around him, especially female ones.
Yeah, I mean,
So
he lost his wife, so that's really tough.
it's
I was
tough for
also
him.
really worried about him because I know how in love he is and what a great husband he is, because we were talking about that last time
Yeah.
and it was just so unexpected, and I feel for Humus as well, the poor little thing.
He was very like he was devastated, honestly. I was worried that he's not
Could
going
you
to
tell?
eat.
Like, was
I
he really
could,
sad?
I could. He was like hiding and like in the angles and like doing this set sound. I can't really even explain it, but it's different from what he usually sounds like. And he was like lethargic a bit. So I tried to, he still called for Irulan for a long time, probably about a week and a half after her passing. He kept calling her.
Oh my God, my
Um,
heart. I think
and
I'm gonna
yeah,
cry.
I was literally crying my eyes every single time when he did that, and she didn't respond. So he got really panicky, and then he got sad again. But the good thing is that he continued eating. What I was worried about was that he's going to stop eating because he's very emotional, and I had to keep watching him and keep like touching his crop to make sure that it's full because I know that like birds can simulate that they're eating but actually can not eat, and
That's a really good point.
that was the scariest thing. I was like monitoring that he's drinking as well, um, but he made it. I mean, he's fine now and getting back to normal, I guess.
Oh, that's so nice to hear that everyone's doing a lot better, but I know that everybody grieves in their own way and copes in their own way. And it's never easy. And it's something that stays with us forever. We never forget about our loved ones. And I'm really sorry for your loss and that you're going through that. And my heart goes out to you and your flock.
Oh, thank you, thank you. It's really appreciated. Yeah, what about the news? We are actually about to finally launch our toy store, which is happening in a couple of weeks. We're just like settling bits and pieces here and there with logistics, but we are like getting ready to do so. Hopefully, keep keep following us, and you will find out very soon some updates about it. And
Cool. Can we get like a
yes,
little sneak peek about these toys? Like
yes,
what
I'm
kind of
planning it
toys
for
are
this week.
they?
Sure thing. I can only say now that they're all natural, so they're going to be from natural, like organic materials, and that they're handcrafted. And yeah, everything is responsibly sourced. But they're also designed with birds in mind to have fun and tested by the test team, the beta testers. So they were actually approved by those bigs. So I hope that everyone will enjoy them. Of course, I'll keep you all posted on my Instagram page, and so you will find out more
That's
very,
awesome.
very
I
soon.
can't wait. I'm so excited. Good luck
Oh,
with
thank you.
your launch.
Thank
And
you.
are the
Thanks a lot.
toys for small beaks or for big beaks or both?
For now, it's going to be for small and medium bigs, so up to Pioneers or Amazons. For
Mhm.
larger birds, I still have plans, but it requires a bit more work and logistics. So I'm gonna start with small to medium-sized birds, and if everything goes well and the toys are liked, eventually we're gonna introduce a line for larger beaks as well.
Wow. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. I know probably creating all these toys and doing a toy launch is a lot of work. So
It is.
I'm sure that your plate is super full.
I was actually thinking that, oh, it's going to be so easy. I'm gonna launch in August. Yes, sure. I
We're in
realized,
September now. This always
yes.
happens, believe me.
I'm like, yeah, amazing. I'm going to. You know, when you think that some idea is super easy, and especially when it involves animals and their well-being, there are so many points that you're starting to overthink. Like, is it safe? Is it like the best quality? Is it Sorry, somebody is getting mixed into my hair. So all those questions, you want to provide the best quality for them. You want to be able to give them something that they will actually enjoy. You're not just putting like a trinket on
Yeah.
your setup. It's something that they will like to like come and destroy and peck on and do
Hmm.
some foraging. That's the main goal. And so,
And
yeah,
you
it
also
took
need to make sure that it's safe because you don't want, something to happen to a bird and someone to
exactly.
come to you and say something happened and feel responsible for it. So I understand.
So definitely, yeah. Everything that from tangling, from like I don't know, eating parts, you need to make sure that everything
Hmm.
is completely safe. And I also wanted to make sure that they enjoy it. So I tested it with all of my birds. I provide them the designs. They actually destroyed a couple of them to make sure that they're actually funny for them, they're fun for them, they're like enjoying it, not only like seeing it as a pretty toy, but also they can interact with it. Yeah, but you will receive all of that very soon. There are
I have one
like,
last question. Are you
yep,
shipping within the UK, within Europe, or is it going to be international?
within Europe for now. It's going to be UK, European Union, some countries that are not in the European Union, but it's going to be concentrated in Europe for now.
So Mia's
Uh,
going to get to try some new toys.
yes.
So lots of news, some of it sad, some of it good, and it's been keeping you really busy as well. So I'm sure that's really good. And I remember a couple of weeks ago, we were chatting about cleaning. And so today's topic is going to be focused on cleaning and keeping our birds' cages, toys, perches clean, and the importance of cleaning all this stuff and keeping it sanitized. Let's first go over the importance of a clean space for our birds and the health benefits of regular cage cleaning and why we need to be cleaning all of their items. I mean, we know that obviously there can be a lot of bacteria and harmful things that can build up, but I'll turn it over to you and you can let us know why it's so important to keep a clean space for our birds.
Right. Yes, it's actually the hygiene around birds in an apartment, in an like enclosed space in a house. It's very, very important because birds, most of them at least, parrots, are not domesticated birds. They are wild birds, and they're like organisms. They're built in a way that they have like a good ventilation. They live outside, they breathe like air, like they live usually around forest or
In the jungle.
in the jungle, exactly, where there are lots of plants and the air is quite clean. And because of their very efficient respiratory system, they actually thrive there. But in an apartment where there are so many fumes, so many like bacteria build up, dust, feathers flying and building up, like the quality of the air can very easily and quite quickly get like very bad. I mean,
And they
it
have really
deteriorates.
sensitive respiratory systems.
Exactly. It deteriorates quite quick. When you close all your windows, literally you need about 30 minutes without even cooking or doing something special just to get your like air quality level drop down significantly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's not good for us humans because we can get stuff like headaches, like dizziness, also like allergies and stuff. But for birds with such a good respiratory system, such efficient respiratory system, it can get actually deadly at some point because they are actually breathing it more efficiently, meaning that they're inhaling more of those toxic components and absorbing them into their bloodstream. That's the dangerous bit. So this is why we, as responsible owners, must keep the hygiene and the cleanness of the cages, but also of outside environment that our birds interact with, quite clean, like dust-free, well ventilated, filtrated as well. So there are lots of actually parts of the cleaning process that we need to keep quite strict to make sure that
Yeah.
our birds are in best of their health.
An air purifier is also a good idea.
Yes, that's actually like a part of the cleanness that is often missed by by the bird owners, sorry, and actually for pet owners as well. I
Yeah,
mean,
because
it's for
dogs and cats,
everyone.
I mean, they shed too. I don't know about rabbits. I think maybe rabbits shed too, but when you have pets, an air purifier is just a good idea.
Yes, and here comes like things uh, depending on your birds, how many air purifiers you need and what air purifiers you need, because honestly, I have one air purifier in the room where birds live, and I need to clean the filter every single week because it has like a thick layer of dust every single week. And that's mainly because of the cockatiels, they're like
Yeah,
dusty.
because they're powder birds.
Yeah, they're powder birds, exactly. So they're falling, the dust is falling out of them quite in
Yeah.
large amounts. And I can see the difference. Sorry, Agnes is being noisy. I can definitely see the difference, since like before I had like air purifier, and after I had a air purifier. So that's definitely an important bit of the hygiene and the cleanness of the bird's room, or like bird's cage. But
Yeah.
of course, what I think is extremely significant is to have like a routine for cleaning. There are different types of cleaning. I separate them to like daily cleanups, which means I'm like taking away all the poop and changing, of course, water bowls, washing water bowls, changing the water, making sure that there are no feathers and dust. But that's a light like cleanup that I do every single day, including vacuum cleaning.
Hmm.
Um, and there is another, like a medium type of cleaning that I do once a week. That's more of I'm taking away like all the poop from wall ceilings. As a bird owner, I'm pretty sure you know that the poop can get everywhere. I mean,
Yep, I find poop all of the time. Yesterday, Mia pooped on the back of my shirt, and I had no idea until my husband was behind me and he's like, "Do you know that you have something on your back?" And I was like, "Take a picture and show me." And of course, she was eating red pepper and she took a really big poop. And so it was all over my back, and I had just been walking around like that.
yeah,
So,
that's my life too. I mean, like it
but
happens
it's been on
to
the walls, it's been just all over the place. So, yeah, keeping up with the poop cleaning is also a big thing.
It is. And I think for people who are wondering whether to get a bird or not, they should have in mind that birds do poop. And if you're not okay with like finding poop everywhere, then you should probably like reconsider getting a bird. That's
Yeah,
normal, and you need to clean after it, but that's normal, and you cannot walk around all the time with like a wipe or something to clean them all. So you will be finding them periodically somewhere on your clothes, on your bed, or something like this. It can happen. And then I
yeah,
have the deep clean once per month, which means I'm literally taking off every single toy, every single perch, like taking off all the trays, disassembling partially my cages because I don't have the space to actually disassemble them all. So I wash them like that, but
yeah,
making sure that every single bit is actually cleaned. Then I'm steam cleaning and literally disinfecting it all with birdsafe disinfectants. I'm gonna talk about it in a bit. But
yeah.
what I think is important is actually to schedule all those like big cleanings in your calendar. Otherwise, otherwise you need to prepare mentally because
Because it takes
the
time
it takes a day. It literally is a 1 day investment. Oh
so
my
that
god.
everybody understands it's time consuming.
It is super time consuming. Like my husband is laughing at me. He's saying like, "Did you finish like the day two of your 30-minute like cleanup?" Because I always like, "Oh, it's only going to take 30 minutes," and then at some point, I realized it's actually taking about 2 days to finish it off.
Especially with
So
that many birds, you have a whole flock.
I do have a whole flock, and
Yeah,
it gets messy. I mean, there is a difference between having one bird, two birds, and five, six, seven birds. It's like
yeah.
a huge difference because they do make a mess.
And I can only imagine because Mia's messy and she's just one bird. So having five or six, I could imagine that mess times five or times six. That
Yep.
requires definitely a daily cleanup, a weekly cleanup, and a monthly cleanup. And I actually have quite a similar schedule. I do a lot of daily stuff. So, cleaning the water dishes and the food dishes and, checking the lining under the cage if it needs to be changed.
Yeah.
I use butcher paper and I have these sheets that are fit perfectly. So I can just take it out. I kind of roll it up to keep all the mess inside, and then I can just change it. And checking if there's like poop anywhere, then I'll just like scrub that down quickly. Or when it's fresh, I like to get it then, because then it just wipes away easily. So there's a lot of like daily maintenance things to try and keep things clean and hygienic. But then I actually do it like every week, maximum 10 days, depending on how busy I am, because life gets busy.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then I'll like basically clean her whole cage, and I'll change all of her toys and clean all her perches and all that stuff. But when you have more birds, then sometimes it's hard to do that on a weekly basis. With
Yeah.
one cage, I find it to be a lot easier. But I feel like with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cages, it gets to be a lot more work for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely why when you're getting more birds, you need to consider like versus quantity, because when you get more birds, they require much more time for like maintenance, for cleaning as well, things that probably you don't consider when you're getting a bird and you're super excited to get a new flock member.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
definitely it takes time. And I
And
have,
breeders or pet stores don't tell you, oh, you're going to have to be cleaning regularly. They poop a lot. They make a mess. They
nope,
destroy
yep,
toys. They drop food. They do
they
all of
do.
these things. So, yeah, it's important. And I also wanted to circle back a little bit to the importance of it, because it's also important to keep things clean so that we can prevent disease. There's, viruses, bacteria,
Yep,
parasites. And a lot of times, and you know this because you have a microscope, these things are so small, it's naked to the visible eye. We can't actually see it.
they
So
are, yeah.
keeping up with this cleaning is important also, so that they don't get sick or, get some kind of diseases or, have bacteria in their cage. So it's really
Yeah.
important for those reasons as well.
Absolutely. Microorganisms, they can grow like pretty much everywhere. And as you mentioned, birds drop food. And if they drop veggies and stuff, it's going to like start decaying and it's going to build up bacteria or mold, or
Yeah.
any type of like microorganisms that are actually quite dangerous for birds' health. They can get illnesses like aspergillosis or microbacteria or like any other type of like disbalance in
Yeah.
microflora of your bird, which actually can be lethal if not treated on time. And the treatment in birds is always so complicated. It's not like with
Yes.
us humans, you take
Yeah.
like, I don't know, a course of 7 days antibiotics and you're fine. With birds, it usually takes months to actually get to clean up their organisms. And it's very dangerous too because they are weakened after all those treatments, and you need to make sure that you build up their immunity system back to normal. You
Yeah.
don't want that. So it's better to actually keep an eye and make
Yeah.
sure that you're
Prevention
keeping
is
like a
better than having to deal with it and putting them through medications and things like that.
yes, if for us humans, prevention is much better than waiting
Yeah.
until something goes wrong. But for
Yeah.
them, especially like having in mind that we're like lacking lots of research and lacking actually avian vets as well. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
there are not so many. Then yes, it's getting even harder because when they get sick, there are so many questions and so little experience, like history-wise. Historically, there are not many research made on domestic birds, on parrots, about their like diseases and what's the best way to treat them. So what we use is like a very narrow knowledge about those stuff. It's building up now, it's getting
Yeah.
better, but still, you don't want to lose your babies because you did like a bad job cleaning up their
Yeah.
cages.
Yeah, I also wanted to
Definitely.
add that on top of that, it's odors. When you're not cleaning it for a long time and there's poop buildup and dried poop and all of these different things and food that's been left, then it starts to also smell. And, if
Yeah.
you walk into a home that, has had all this buildup of food and toys and bird poop for a really long time, you can smell it in the air.
Yeah.
So it also goes back to, the quality of the air. So it just is really important to clean so that it also doesn't start to smell and produce all of these different odors. And
Yeah, they do fume, and those fumes usually are also interconnected with particulate matter that is also dangerous for the birds. This is why it's good to actually have an air purifier that measures the particulate matter. So first of all, if what's the air quality at the current time in your bird room, but also the air purifier actually helps to clean the air and lower the odors coming from
hmm
like, this type of things on a daily basis. That, of course, doesn't mean that they are magic wand. You need to clean actually physically to make sure that your apartment stays odorless and so your birds stay healthy. But
hmm
yeah, definitely, I do recommend like investing into a good air purifier
And
because
since we're
that
talking about air
is much.
purifiers, I did do a whole episode on air purifiers and why clean air is so important. But what is the air purifier that you recommend? Like, what is the brand?
Right, I'm using Dyson air purifier, which is a bit of like the high end of air
Yeah, that's a
purifiers.
good
Is
one.
It's quite expensive.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, it costs a fortune.
Yeah. But it's probably
So
going to last you a long time as well.
hopefully, though, to be honest, I know that it's not like designed to have like so many cockatiels in mind, but for instance, it says that the filter should last at least 6 to 8 months, which is not the
I think it
case with.
depends if you have powder birds or non-powder birds.
Exactly. But because I have so many powder birds, it actually lasts about 3 months and you need to like change it. And it's quite expensive as well to change the filters because the parts are expensive. But to be honest, I can't complain. Really, the what this filter does is magic. It's again quite expensive. I have done some research. There are quite a lot of good alternatives to
hmm
that one, which are cheaper. I know that Philips has a good air purifier. Don't remember the model, sorry, but you can do your own research. There are brands that do good work, good substitutions to Dyson, but they do work as well.
Yeah.
Um, the thing is, I feel that for my birds, I would do anything. So that's why I sold my kidney and bought, bought sorry, I'm just joking. Uh, I bought an
Bird
air
mom
purifier.
jokes. We would do
Yes.
anything for our babies.
But that's true. I mean, I was like, okay, I need to do like check the prices and everything and measure. And I was like, but I want the best. So I
Yeah.
just went for the
I want quality, but I'm the
I want
same
the
way. If I'm gonna buy something, especially something like that, then I really think that it's important to do your research. You want to also get something within your budget, but you also want to get something that's quality and it's going to last you and it's going to work well. Because if you're just going to get like the cheapest thing, then it's not going to run efficiently and effectively, and it'll probably stop working in a short amount of time. So it's just better to invest a little more.
True, absolutely agree with you. I'm the same. I'm thinking the same way. And
Yeah.
with this filter that I have with the Dyson, it's with formaldehyde filter as well, which is good, especially when I'm planning to move and there's going to be some repair works. I want to make sure that the room is like formaldehyde free before like getting
Yeah.
in the birds. But also it detects PM from I think it's from 2.5 to 10. Yes. And yeah, it's good because I can monitor how the air quality changes during the day as well.
Yeah.
I, I know if something is like going high and I have the app, I know that the birds were flying, which like
Yeah.
usually if I'm not in the room, I usually turn the camera on to check if the birds are all right. Because if
Yeah.
suddenly like the PM levels raised, which means that the feathers and everything started to fly around. It means that the birds probably got scared of something or
Yeah.
just decided to have a
It's
flight.
great that you have an app that's telling you all of these things. And that's why an air purifier is also great, because then you can monitor the air quality that your birds have.
True.
I also, because I took some notes, I wanted to add that another thing that I researched was that dirty cages can also harbor molds and fungi that release spores into the air.
Yeah,
So, again, important to clean and important to have an air purifier. And
true.
your bird's going to inhale these things. And because they
Yeah.
have such small, tiny, and sensitive respiratory systems, this is why it's so important. But I also read that parrots, because they're so intelligent, they like to have a clean and an organized environment, because it provides them with better mental stimulation and just contributes to having a little bit less stress when they have that clean environment.
Yeah, that's true. And actually, I have noticed, especially with Agnes and Irulan used to do the same thing, is the first poop in the morning, they are waiting for me to let them out so they can poop outside of the cage, not inside of the cage, because especially the first poop is slightly larger than
It's
like
the
the normal poop.
largest.
It is the largest.
Mia's morning poop is like, we're always like, whoa, that
Yes,
came out of
exactly.
you. It's bigger than you.
Yep, I know. It's like it's huge. So I have noticed that they're waiting for the morning to come, so I can open the gate and then
Mhm.
they poop. Um, yeah, they're very intelligent animals, and they do like it when it's clean. When I've noticed that when the cage is getting a little bit sorry, a little bit dirty, they're starting to feel like uncomfortable and going to the ledges or perches which are more clean. So
Mhm.
it's important to actually keep their environment stimulating as well, and
Yeah.
because they're also picking on the wood perches and toys
Yeah.
inside, they
And
might
you're that way
actually.
you're monitoring their health by making sure that, they're not chewing on like poop or like old food or like something that's grown
Exactly.
bacteria. And that way, when you're cleaning the bottom of the cage, the liner, you can assess their poops a lot better than when there's like so much going on and there's all
True.
this debris and poops and dried poops and fresh poops. Then it's hard to kind of monitor their poops. So
Yep.
yeah, it's also helpful that way. And before I forget, I also wanted to add that when we're cleaning these things, it prolongs the life of the perches and the cages. And buying
Yep.
all of these things also adds up. Big cages can get really expensive. The bigger the flock, the more different types of perches, and you want to have a variety. So that also adds up. So cleaning them also ensures that it's going to last you longer.
Yep. That's true. Absolutely. Because their poop can actually damage the surfaces of anything. Probably if your bird
Yeah.
have ever pooped on your laptop and you forgot to like take it away for a while, then it can leave stain your laptop. And it does the same to like your cages and your perches and everything. So it's good to clean them like time in a timely manner. But I like what you said about monitoring the poop, because poop is the first indicator of your bird's health, and exactly that point that when you're cleaning up your cage on daily basis, or at least you're changing the lining or removing the poop from like the floor, then you can see in the morning what are the quality of the poops and whether you should
Mm-hmm.
have any concerns. And yeah, you can distinguish that that poop was from today, not from like 3 weeks ago. Because I've seen people like having poop like build up in their cages for a long time,
Yeah.
and that's terrible. But that's also like very hard. It's making it very hard to monitor what's going on with your bird.
Yeah. And then additionally, also with like food and water dishes, I know we were talking about that as like a maintenance, a daily cleaning thing. Because if we're not cleaning it on a regular basis, and sometimes you have to change the water a few times a day
Yeah.
because they might poop in it, or there's all kinds of debris, or depending what they're doing, or maybe they had a bath in it or something. So we don't want there to harbor bacteria, especially like in the summer when it's
Hmm.
warmer.
Still water is the most dangerous water because it actually gets bacteria quite quickly. Bacteria build up quite quickly. So yeah, in the summer, in the hot months, it's definitely advisory to change the water. Also, very important bit is to actually clean the bowls, the water bowls,
Mm,
because when you leave the water inside, the bacteria builds up on the bottom of the water bowl. It becomes slightly, I don't know, slimy, how to say it.
yeah. That's already
S-
bacteria building up.
It's exactly that's a bacteria buildup. So if you feel that, it means that you already should have like washed it properly beforehand, but still like wash the bowls like
And how do you
thoroughly.
wash your food and water bowls?
Right. So for the food and water bowls, I wash them with water and mild dish soap, but then I rinse them thoroughly. I don't do that with plastic bowls. I do that only with the metal bowls.
Yeah, the
Plastic
stainless
bowls,
steel.
yeah, stainless steel bowls. I always like try to use them, though I have a couple of plastic ones, I admit. With the plastic ones, I use only water and some vinegar to actually like clean it up afterwards to
Mm,
disinfect it, and then I rinse it again. Um, the reason for that is that plastic has pores, like it's like a porous material, and I don't want any type of chemicals to get inside and stick inside.
yeah.
That's why
That's why
I avoid
plastic makes me so nervous.
plastic is like a nightmare, yes, and because plastic actually can also suck
Leach.
food and bleach as well. Yeah, bleach, that's
Or
no,
no,
no.
no, I meant like leach. Like
Leach,
plastic
sorry,
can
yeah.
leach like microplastics, and
Yes,
there's
it
been
can.
so much about microplastics recently. I also buy like those eco dish soaps that are like, derived from plant ingredients because then I feel a lot better.
Hmm.
But occasionally I do put them through a dishwasher cycle, like her
Yeah,
stainless steel stuff. I'll just throw
that's
it all in the
absolutely fine.
dishwasher and throw it through a cycle.
It's all right to wash in the dishwasher, especially the stainless steel bowls. I
Mhm.
wouldn't advise that to do this with plastic bowls because,
Yeah.
again, they can suck in the um, toxins, the like chemicals. So better, but with stainless steel, that's not a problem. What I do when I dishwash them is I just rinse them afterwards again, just to make sure that nothing is left before I put water or food in them. So just like giving a thorough rinse.
I also wanted to chat a little bit about, since we're talking about cleaning and cleaning all of our bird stuff, about the tools and supplies needed. So if someone's listening and they're new to this, they just got a bird, or they're like, oh, I need to, clean my bird's cage. We talked about sponges and we talked about eco-friendly, gentle soap. Yeah.
Yeah, get one of these. This is like magic stainless steel brush. Like this, like has like stainless steel things for perches and for cork and for anything, for even for your cage.
Yeah,
Like
like
it
dried
scrubs
poop
poop
or
like
something.
magic.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've seen a lot of people use that. I actually, what I do is I take out the bottom where there's like all the dried poop or it's like drying up. And what I'll do is I'll take it into the bathtub and I'll rinse it down on like the power wash setting. And then I'll leave it because it's wet. So it starts to get like moist. And then
Yeah.
I'll come back and I'll do another power wash and then everything just comes off. So I don't actually have one of those brushes, but I've heard and seen that it is really great with poop on a load of different things.
Yeah, actually for the trays, I do absolutely the same thing. I just rinse them thoroughly on a power wash and then
Yeah.
leave them for a while. I then just like I have a special sponge for their cages. I just remove everything with it to make sure that it's clean. Then I rinse it again. I disinfect it. I use actually speaking with disinfectants, I use like bird safe disinfectant. We're gonna talk about it in a bit.
Yeah.
But I disinfect them, I leave them to like dry, and then I replace them. For the trays, it does magic. But they're like, especially for the cork bits, like cork toys, anything that has like an even surface, I find it really hard to do so because those little
Yeah.
poops just like stuck everywhere. And those type of brushes, like help. I have them in several sizes, and it actually helps to
That's it.
brush
I'm
off
buying one.
everything. Yeah, it's they're quite cheap. You can get them on Amazon, and
Or even like a
Just
hardware store would probably have them, right?
absolutely everywhere you can go
Yeah.
and just buy them and literally, but just dedicate them for the cage.
Yeah.
I
Don't
only
use it on
clean.
anything else.
True. Yep, that's a good point. So, yeah, that's what I'll do as well. I think it doesn't have like there is no like right way how to do it. There's definitely a wrong way how to do it. Never
Yeah.
use bleaches, never use
Yeah.
anything with
It
ammonia.
makes me crazy when I see that people are using like diluted bleach.
I know,
And I'm
that's
like, that is
crazy.
not safe.
No. I've heard people using bleach as well for cleaning, even like diluted bleach for cleaning um dishes, birds' dishes as well. That's not safe. You don't know how to dilute it. Even if you want to make it safe, you can't be sure that you're diluting it correctly and it's stable as an agent, etc. Don't do it. It's dangerous. You literally can kill your bird, and it's not worth it. It's much better to invest into a like avian safe disinfectant. It's yes, it costs a bit more. I agree, but like long term, you don't want to get your bird sick.
I'm gonna read off my tools and supplies list, and you let me know if I missed anything or if you want to add anything. So we
Go for
talked
it.
about sponges or brushes, scrapers, a disinfectant like F10 because it's avian safe and specific
Mhm,
for birds and cleaning bird items, a dustpan with a brush to get all that
mhm.
little debris from the bottom tray, or a handheld vacuum. I love using the vacuum, paper towels, and some kind of liner paper for the bottom of your cage. And if you have the option, a power washer. Did I miss anything? You said you also use a steam cleaner.
I do have a steam cleaner, yes.
Okay, that's what I'm missing.
What what is like the steam cleaner is good for is actually to first of all to soften the poops that are stuck. That's making magic for like a couple of seconds, and it's already soft and you can easily remove it. But it also
Mm-hmm.
like kills bacteria. And if you have a carpet, like in our case, you want to clean that carpet well to make sure there is no dust in it, and it's not the
Yeah.
best solution. If you can get rid of the carpet, that's the best solution. But I can't, so I need to maintain it, and
Yeah.
this like the steamer does like magic. But also for the stands, for the perches, especially when I don't want to do like a deep clean and go through like scrub everything, I just steam them and then like wipe them with a like dry cloth, and that's
And
it.
steam cleaners only use water for
Only use
anybody that
water,
doesn't know.
nothing else. Yeah, just water. What
Yeah.
I find really thankful is the existence of the hoovers or vacuum cleaners.
Yeah. We have the
That's
Robo Rock.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
Is it a
oh,
good
it's the
one?
best. It was such a game changer for us. I release that thing every day, but Lambo gets anxiety when this vacuum comes out. He's like, I don't like this thing. What is it? And he always is like going to the other room. So I always put his anxiety vest on. And then like I'll make him a interactive game or something like sniffing. So he's engaged in something else and feeling a lot calmer and distracted. But it is a game changer because it cleans the floors every single day, and all the dust and debris and things she drops, it all gets picked up. So it's great. I didn't even think about carpets and how important it's to keep those clean because we just have no carpet anywhere.
That's amazing because honestly, I used to love carpets before I had birds. Because they're like cozy and it's like so
Yeah.
cute, etc. But nowadays I just
And
hate them.
soft.
I mean, like, get them away because, as you said, like you're trying to remove the poop straight away after it drops. When it drops on the carpet, you don't want to remove it straight away because all your carpet is going to be like one mess. You just wait for like 30 minutes until it dries, and then you remove it because
Oh my
and it
gosh.
leaves no stains. Otherwise, it just leaves stains, and it's crazy. So
Yeah. Especially if
whoever
you have
has a
light
carpet,
colored carpet.
yeah, I have like a cream colored carpets in the bird room.
Oh gosh.
I'm doomed, I know. It's crazy.
So I want to know a little bit about your cleaning routine. So run me through like when you are cleaning the cage and the toys and the perches, what is your kind of step-by-step routine? I know you
yeah.
use F10 and after we had talked about the F10, I did some research and I was like, oh, wow, this is really great, but I haven't been able to find it anywhere here or any of like the bird parrot stores don't sell it. My vet doesn't sell it. So I need to really hunt it down because I know it's a really great disinfectant, but I know we also talked about there's not really there is a wrong way to clean, but there are different right methods of cleaning your bird's cage and their perches and their toys. So I'll let you tell us kind of step by step what your routine is.
My routine is, as I mentioned, it takes a couple of days, especially when I'm doing the deep clean. So I'll start with the deep clean, and then perhaps I'll give you a short review of what I do every single day. So for when the deep clean comes, I need to remove every single perch. What I do is that's my first step. Every single toy and every single perch is removed. Then I sort them on the types because some of the toys cannot be soaked. Some
Like
of the
paper
toys
toys.
can be soaked. Yeah, paper toys or like palm leaf toys, they
Yeah,
cannot be soaked because they get like entangled and they're not usable afterwards.
exactly.
So I sort them on soakable and non-soakable. The soakable ones, I literally gather them all and put them into the bathtub. Before that, I rinse and clean the bathtub to make sure it doesn't have anything like dangerous, no shampoos or
Mm-hmm.
anything.
And which toys are the soakable ones?
The soakable are like perches from hardwood, ledges from hardwood, any toys that are like made out of beds and perches and anything hard. Don't soak loofah, don't soak was it palm leaf or solar balls or anything that is soft. Soft
Mm-hmm.
things, they can be wiped and cleaned differently. Don't soak them. Anything that is made out of hardwood, like it's easily can be like soaked, and it makes it easier to actually clean it afterwards. So that majorly the perches and the ledges are the ones that I soak. Some
Mm-hmm.
of the toys that are shreddables, I call them shreddables because they're made of soft materials,
Yeah.
I leave them aside.
If there's any poop, you can just kind of like cut it off or rip it off.
Exactly, yeah, or just scrub it off or like whatever, but
Yeah.
if you just soak it, it's going to lose its integrity and the toy is just going to be ruined, so don't do that. My first step is to soak all the perches and all the ledges, just putting them into the bathtub. I pour like warm water and then I have this F10 CLXD, which is a disinfectant cleanser, sorry, concentrate. There is like description on the back how to actually use it. It depends on how many liters water you pour into your bathtub. And then you can use a measuring cup which comes with it, which I don't
And
have
how
here.
much water do you put in the bathtub? Like, do you make sure all the toys and perches are covered?
Yes.
Do you make sure everything's covered? And how many liters approximately of water is that? And then how much do you put of the F10 into the bathtub?
Right. To be honest with you, I don't remember how many liters is there. I did it one time of the calculation. I know that I need to pour 5 cups of this, which
Based on
makes
the amount
it
of water that you put.
exactly, yes.
Okay.
So I just
5 cups, that's a lot.
that is, but on the whole volume of water, it actually
Yeah,
is
yeah.
not that much. What I do then is I literally leave it in, leave all the purchase in. I make sure I stir it well so the disinfectant goes around the water. It doesn't like just sinks in one place. And I just leave them to disinfect
For how
afterwards.
long?
I leave them around 15 to 30 minutes, depending on like how organized I am.
Okay.
But usually
So
it's
set a
enough.
timer.
Set a timer, but it's usually around 15 minutes should be enough. It's what it says here. 15 minutes is like perfect. Uh, it's not going to do any harm if you leave it for a little longer, but yeah, it's best and most efficient to do like 15 minutes and then
Yeah,
just
because
rinse them
you
thoroughly.
also don't want the wood soaking too long.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want that to like soak inside and
Yeah.
It's not although it's 100% safe for like birds. I just
Hmm.
prefer to make sure that the bacteria on top of the purchase is gone and that's it.
Yeah.
Um, then I just rinse them thoroughly with just running water, making sure that there is no disinfectant left anywhere. But as you said, I just rinse them several times to make sure that I don't count to three, but but I do that like several times to make sure they're quite clean and everything. I just make sure that there are no poop left,
Yeah.
and then I take them out. I give them a slow like wipe them with a
Paper towel?
not a paper towel, just a normal towel, cotton towel. Sorry,
Okay.
just
Yeah, a
for one
cotton
second the
towel.
word just disappeared. And then I put them into the oven on 100 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes. You don't want to put the heat too much. It's better to actually keep the heat lower, but for longer time than to keep the heat higher for
And
shorter
you
time because they're going to start what's the word? The sticky thing that goes from the trees,
sap.
sap. They're like the sap
Um,
is going to get out, and that's dangerous. Don't do that. So when you're like drying your purchase inside the oven, it's better to keep it like 60, 70 degrees Celsius and to keep it for like 10, 15 minutes until they dry, not to actually dry them on higher temperatures for shorter time because that's dangerous. Don't do
yeah.
that.
Yeah. And
Uh,
another thing that I also want to make sure to whoever is listening and while you're telling us about this is when you're doing this cleaning routine and like using the oven and using these disinfectants, you want to take your birds into a different space. You don't want to have them there inhaling this and being a part of the process or accidentally, I don't know, trying to get their perch from the oven or something. So just
that's
make sure you put
definitely.
your birds in a safe space during this cleaning routine.
Yeah, don't take your birds with you. I mean, while I'm taking off perches or
Yeah.
just wiping stuff, I don't remove the birds. They're flying around. They're like quite interested into, but it all depends on your birds. Just make sure that if your birds are scared, for instance, from vacuum cleaners, or you're scared that they're going to jump into your cleaning water or something like this, just don't do it. It's better to actually keep them safe, but for sure, for like oven and using the disinfectants, it's best to keep them into a different room where it's safe for them. They don't need to inhale this. They are completely correct there.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that, with ovens, you also have to be careful because, like, for example, a self-cleaning oven,
Yeah,
those can be toxic. The
they are.
fumes and stuff are toxic to birds. So you have to be really careful with ovens. Don't do it like on a self-cleaning cycle and
No.
then have your birds around.
There are so many actually toxic things that we are using on a daily basis. We need to be very careful with them. Self-cleaning ovens are one. Actually, dishwasher cleaning, while they're in cycle, it's best to keep your birds away from them because they're fuming and apparently they can be toxic too. That's what I found out in one research. What I also know is like Teflon, don't cook with Teflon, get rid of Teflon. It's not good for you, it's not good for your birds. It's definitely a thing. And cleaning the rest of the apartment, my policy is I clean all the apartment with bird safe materials, like bird safe chemistry, because everything
Me
else
too.
is just, it fumes, it leaves smells. I don't know how well it evaporates. It might just stay there and the bird can lick it and that's it. And so, like,
Yeah.
it's better to do lots of research about what is good and what's bad. Self-cleaning ovens are definitely a bad thing. I wouldn't recommend using them around birds, and definitely not drying your purchase inside of them. That can be toxic and that can be very dangerous. One tip I just remembered is if you have leather rope, like, they are quite safe for like hanging toys on. So leather should not be placed inside the oven for drying because it's going to break. It's drying up and it's getting out all the moisture of it, and then it's becoming fragile and it's just going to
Right.
snap. So if you have leather toys or leather bands in your toys or your purchase or whatever, don't put them into the oven to dry. I'm
So you
saying
put
that
all
from
the wooden
experience.
stuff in the oven so that
Yep,
it dries. And you said it too, you said 100 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah, that's more than enough. And all the pine cones, all the natural like toys, I just put them there. They just dry like nicely.
So after
But
10 minutes, everything is dry. What do you do next?
right, what I do next is I clean all the cages thoroughly. I mean, all the angles, all the bars, everything. I just wipe it through with a like wet cloth first to make sure I remove all the debris. I vacuum clean everything that has dropped. Then I use F10. I use usually this one, the avian disinfectant ready to use.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
This
it's
one,
already in a spray bottle, like
it's already in a
it's
spray
already done
bottle,
for you, the ratios and everything.
everything. Yeah, so you don't have
Okay,
to
that's
worry about it.
awesome.
I'm like crazy mom, and I don't feel ashamed to admit it. So this is why I use an avian disinfectant that is ready to use. I spray the cages. I wait for them to just dry naturally. And I make sure there's nothing anywhere, no poop, nothing. So they're super clean. Um, then what I do is usually I leave it for the last bit. I vacuum clean quite thoroughly, all the angles, everything, and then I steam clean again, everything. I steam the floor first, then I steam the cages, I steam all the like playgrounds that I
And how
usually
many
wash them
cages do
quite
you have to do?
at the moment three.
Okay. And you've got
Um,
the whole bird room.
and the whole bird room. So it's actually my bedroom, but during the day is the bird room. So they just fly freely and they have toys everywhere. So it's like a bird room,
And you've
and
made sure it's all safe and everything's safe for them.
it's all safe. Actually, we put these covers for all the cables. So for instance,
Mm,
for the lamp, it's like it has, because it's a hanging lamp, it had its cable exposed. We needed this like tube that goes around the cable
yeah,
from the ceiling to protect it from beaks, from
yeah.
menaceful beaks. And same for the air purifier. We covered the cable as well with this pipe thing. Same for the camera, because I can't trust them that they're not going to actually want to eat it one day. So that's why I made sure that it's all like bird safe. I've checked every single wall and all the materials inside the room, that they don't contain zinc and they don't contain lead. So made sure they're like little swabs you can purchase. You can do the test. If they show negative, then it means that don't have these substances inside, which are poisonous and toxic for the birds. And then I return all the items back. I try to rearrange them differently than they were before, so to keep them entertained. But yeah, I return all the perches, all the toys. I just hang them around differently, trying to change a bit the scenery. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, I forgot to mention cleaning the filter from the air purifier. And then again, I use this one for cleaning the windows and for cleaning the mirror. We have like a huge mirror wardrobe, and thankfully, that's not a good idea to have a mirror where you have birds. We
Yeah.
didn't have the choice. But thankfully, my birds understand that that's a mirror and they don't really care about it. So they are not bothered by mirror. I don't recommend it. It's not very good for birds, especially if it's a one bird, to have a
Hmm.
like mirror inside the room. They can get hormonal and emotional, and that can be harmful for them.
Yeah. Sometimes they might get aggressive because they don't understand that it's them, or
Yep,
they think that there's another bird there and they might get frustrated because it's not.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mirrors
Yeah.
aren't.
So that's not advisory, but fortunately, my birds are fine with it. They understand it's mirror. They don't care about it. They never do. So they just like ignoring it. But cleaning it, again, I use this thing and this same thing for the windows. It makes magic. Oh, and another one that I really, really, really love is that's the poop
Oh,
off.
the poop off. I've seen
Yeah,
this and I've heard about it. And
I
I heard
hate
that
its
it works
smell.
great to get the poop off because there's some enzymes or something in it.
Yep, there are, and it actually does magic, and it does magic on the cover, on the, sorry, it's
Bird
been a
poops.
long day, on the carpets. Yeah, that's the word. On the carpets too. That makes magic on the
Ah,
carpets too. However, it smells weird. I have to admit. It says it's
oh, really?
non-toxic and everything. I just don't like the smell.
Yeah.
I don't know why. So I use it only to remove stains from the carpet, really, and very rarely when like they poop on a painting or something, like on a print.
Yeah.
I use it because it easily removes it without damaging the canvas. But
Oh, see,
yep,
for like dried poop or like poop in general, I always do the mix of 50/50 water to white vinegar and I spray it and then I like walk away. I come back in 5 minutes and then it just like wipes away so easily because it's just been sitting, eating, getting moist.
yep,
Eating the vinegar is eating the poop.
that's pretty much what's
Yeah.
happening. Yeah.
So we chatted so much about cleaning, and hopefully, this gave everybody a lot of insight on how there's different ways of cleaning. You can use water, you can use F10, you can use vinegar and water
Vinegar.
mixes,
Yep.
you can use the dishwasher. Actually, back to the dishwasher, if you're doing that, then you're only using the wooden perches and things that are going to be safe, and you want to do it on like a high heat setting with a heating dry. So it just depends on the dishwasher. Different dishwashers have different settings, and don't put any soap and just let it run through that. And then I like to put everything out in the sunlight, but there's also the oven option as well, especially like in the winter. There's not as
Mhm.
much sunlight, not here anymore.
In the
So
winter, especially when the weather is like colder and there is no sunshine, the oven does magic because otherwise it takes too long to for the purchase to dry. And as
yeah.
I mentioned, still water is always dangerous because it can build up
And we
bacteria,
don't
and
want to
it's
leave like the purchase sitting there soaking wet
no,
because then they're just gonna grow bacteria and mold, right?
exactly. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
So use the oven, but make sure it's not like a self-washing oven because they're not very self-cleaning oven because it's not very not very, it's actually quite toxic for the birds.
Yeah. So lots of different ways to clean all this stuff. Now, enough about cleaning. Let's have some fun. I have some
Okay.
fun questions to ask you about your flock.
Okay, go for it.
So, my first fun question, if your parrots could choose their dream vacation destination, where do you think they would want to go?
Where do I think? I think they'll have very different preferences. I think Kumus would like to go back to Munich. I think he's like a perfect German. Even his behavior is German. I don't know if you know the song "Was wollen wir trinken?" It's like a quite popular German song. But one time my husband just put it on for some reason, and he started singing, and he was so happy. So I think he would go to Germany. Um, the rest of the birds, I think, I don't know even. I think they would be happy somewhere where the weather is nice all the time. So
Yeah,
I would
somewhere
say
warm.
Hawaii, something like that. Probably
Hawaii
because
is
that's my dream
beautiful.
dream destination. So I'll just take the birds with me. They want to go to Hawaii, let's say.
So, out of your flock, who is on Santa's nice list and who is on the naughty list? The lists have
Naughty.
started.
This one is always on the naughty list. Not only
Oh,
Santa's naughty
Agnes,
list, everyone's naughty
the only
list.
conure.
The only conure is the naughty list, and then the good. I think Hummus is going to be on the other end of the scale. He is on the
Nice
nice
list.
list. Yeah, exactly.
He's a sweetheart.
And all the birblings are going between, and I think Olen, the doggy, is going to the nice list as well.
Yeah.
But this one is a menace. This one is the meanie.
Oh no, we have one on the naughty list. Agnes.
Agnes.
If your parents could talk and they held a meeting, what do you think that they would talk about?
They would talk about the quality of blueberries. Like they're probably going to discuss why yesterday the blueberries were fresher than today or something like this. Or how to poop on the ceiling better, something, sharing skills. How do they do that?
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I love it. Okay, what if there was a movie made about your birds, what would the title be? And what would be each of your birds' characters?
Um,
The Menace and the Burblings.
I was going to say the Beauties and the Beast.
The Burr Beast. It has to
The
be something like
Burbies, yeah.
Burbie. So the Beauties and the Burb Beast.
The Burbies, this one, yeah.
Formerly, you were also the Cozy Cocktails, and you've changed your social media handle. So let everybody know how they can find you on social and your new handle. And we are also looking forward to your new toy launch.
Sure. So our new handle is cozy.beaks. No, sorry, I just messed it up again.
Cozy Beaks Crew.
Cozybeaks.crew. Yeah. So our shop is going to be called Cozy Beaks, and our crew is a Cozy Beaks crew. So yeah. So that's our new handle. You can find us on Instagram, and keep looking for updates on our toy
Toy
store
launch.
launch. But also, there is going to be another news very soon. Something very excited to look forward. It's not Toy Store related, but yeah, it's coming up very soon, and you will hear from us more.
Well, we're so excited about all of this new fun stuff coming up for the Cozy Beaks crew. And I'm so grateful for your time. And thank you so much for jumping on another podcast episode.
Thanks a lot, Sandra, for having us. It's a pleasure as usual.
Thanks so much for tuning in to the Parrot Podcast. I'm your host, Sandra from Poodles and Parrots, and we'll see you in the next episode.